Introduction to Market Segmentation. In this lesson, we will solve real-world market research problems by segmenting customers using real survey and behavioral data. Market segmentation helps businesses understand different groups of customers so marketing, product, and service strategies can be tailored. You will learn to explore survey and customer data, identify useful segments, and generate meaningful business insights. By the end, you will be able to segment a customer base with Python and interpret segment differences for business decision-making. Running the cell now. We import pandas for data analysis and manipulation. We import NumPy for numerical operations. We import OpenML to access real, public datasets for market research. We import Matplotlib for plotting and visualizing data distributions. We import Seaborn for enhanced statistical data visualization. We import warnings so we can filter out unnecessary warning messages. We set warnings to be ignored for a cleaner notebook experience. Running the cell now. What is market segmentation? Market segmentation divides customers into distinct groups based on shared characteristics. Groups might be based on demographics, behaviors, survey responses, or attitudes. Each segment should consist of customers expected to respond similarly to marketing and experience the product in a similar way. Market research data often comes from surveys or transaction logs. Responses may be numbers, multiple choice answers, or text feedback. A common beginner mistake is assuming all customers are similar or treating categorical responses like numbers. Running the cell now. We will load a real customer satisfaction dataset to segment. We get the dataset from OpenML using its ID. We extract the data as a pandas data frame. We print the number of rows and columns to get an idea of dataset size. We preview the first few survey responses to understand what customer data is included. Running the cell now. This output shows the survey dataset contains 7,043 customers and 20 features, including demographics like gender and senior citizen, service details, and churn status. Notice the mix of categorical and numerical columns, which are key for segmenting customers based on shared traits and behaviors. This foundational data exploration confirms we have rich information to create meaningful market segments. Try changing the number in head 3 to see more or fewer customer survey examples. Before segmenting, let us look for missing or incomplete survey responses. We print the count of missing values in each column. Running the cell now. This output shows that there are 0 missing values in every column of the survey dataset, which is crucial for reliable market segmentation. Ensuring complete data means each customer's attributes are fully captured, allowing us to accurately group customers based on shared characteristics without bias from gaps. This step confirms our data is ready for meaningful analysis and segmentation modeling. Can you spot columns where customers skipped or gave incomplete answers? We will assess how gender and senior citizenship are distributed among respondents. We count the number of men and women in the survey. We count the number of senior citizens to see if age-based segmenting might be useful. Running the cell now. This output shows the distribution of 2 key demographic variables from the survey, gender and senior citizen status. Notice the roughly equal counts of male and female respondents, which suggests balanced gender representation, while the majority are non-senior citizens, indicating younger customers dominate the sample. Understanding these basic demographics helps segment the market into meaningful groups likely to respond differently to marketing strategies. Try changing the column names to check distributions of other categorical survey features. Segmenting by contract type often reveals customer loyalty and risk. We count the number of customers by contract type. We print these counts to compare segment sizes. We visualize customer counts for each contract with a horizontal bar chart. We add a descriptive chart title. We label the horizontal axis for clarity. We label the vertical axis with contract types. We display the plot so we can see which contract types are most popular. Running the cell now. This output shows the number of customers grouped by their contract type, illustrating a clear market segmentation based on contract duration. Notice how the highest count is for month-to-month contracts, indicating a large segment with shorter commitments, while 2-year and 1-year contracts represent smaller, more committed segments. This segmentation helps businesses tailor marketing strategies and product experiences to each group's likelihood to stay or churn. Can you create a similar plot for another categorical customer feature, for example payment method? Different internet service types may see different churn rates. We group customers by internet service and calculate the churn proportion for each. We print the resulting table to view the churn breakdown for each segment. We show a stacked bar chart of churn for each internet service type. We title the chart for Business Insight. We label the y-axis as it shows customer proportions. We label the x-axis by internet service segment. We show the legend so each color's meaning is clear. We display the visualization. Running the cell now. This output shows the proportion of customers who churn or stay for each internet service type, highlighting key differences in churn behavior across segments. Notice that fiber optic users have the highest churn rate, 42%, while customers without internet service churn the least, 7%. This segmentation helps identify target groups for tailored retention strategies based on their service type and churn patterns. Can you try creating a similar analysis for other segmenting features, such as contract or payment method? Let us examine if median tenure differs by gender, which may be of interest to retention managers. We group survey data by gender and calculate the median tenure of each segment. We print the results to show which segment stays longer. Running the cell now. This output shows the median tenure for customers grouped by gender, with both females and males having a median tenure of 29 months. Notice that the identical medians suggest tenure does not differ between these gender segments in this dataset. This helps us understand that, for this demographic segmentation, gender might not influence customer loyalty or experience duration. Try grouping by another demographic, such as senior citizen or partner status, to spot tenure patterns. We will build more sophisticated customer segments by combining contract type and gender. We group and count customers by both contract and gender. We print the resulting segment table to see sizes. We plot customer counts to visualize differences between and within segments. We title the chart for business reporting. We label the y-axis to show customer numbers. We label the x-axis to show contract segments. We display the plot for easier analysis. Running the cell now. This output shows a two-way segmentation of customers by contract type and gender, revealing counts for each subgroup. Notice how the data is split into distinct groups, highlighting differences in customer distribution by contract length and gender. This illustrates how multidimensional segmentation can uncover nuanced customer segments for tailored marketing strategies. Challenge: try a three-way grouping, e.g., add senior citizen, and see if certain subsegments stand out. We discover which customer segments generate the most revenue based on their internet service choice. We group by internet service and calculate average monthly charges. We print the group means to identify the most valuable segments. We plot a horizontal bar chart to compare segment value visually. We set a clear chart title for decision makers. We label the x-axis to indicate average spend. We label the y-axis to clarify the segment types. We show the plot to highlight high-value groups for possible targeting. Running the cell now. This output shows the average monthly charges segmented by the type of internet service customers use. Notice that customers with fiber optic service incur the highest monthly charges, followed by DSL, while those with no internet service have the lowest charges. This highlights how segmenting by key service features can reveal differences in customer value, guiding targeted marketing and product strategies. For bonus insight, try comparing average monthly charges by segment for each contract type. Let us use NPS data to segment customer loyalty and advocacy. We fix the random seed so the example is reproducible. We create a synthetic dataset of 500 customers with age, region, and a random NPS score. We assign each customer to detractor, passive, or promoter segment based on NPS score rules. We count the number of customers in each NPS segment. We print these counts for business review. We make a bar chart so it is easy to see how customers are distributed across loyalty levels. We set an informative chart title. We label the x-axis to show NPS segments. We label the y-axis as it is customer count. We display the plot for interpretation. Running the cell now. This output shows the distribution of customers segmented by their Net Promoter Score, NPS, into detractors, passives, and promoters. Notice that the majority are detractors, indicating many customers are dissatisfied or neutral, while fewer fall into the promoter group. This segmentation helps marketers identify groups with different loyalty levels, guiding targeted engagement strategies based on customer sentiment. Try comparing NPS segment proportions across different customer regions. Sometimes, you may try to group by a column name that is not present due to typos or changes. We try grouping by a missing column name. If an error occurs, we catch and print a readable error message. Running the cell now. This output shows an error triggered because the code attempts to group the survey data by a column that doesn't exist. It highlights the importance of verifying that key columns, like those used for market segmentation, are present in your dataset before performing group operations. This step ensures your segments are correctly defined and prevents unexpected crashes during analysis. Always check your column names before grouping. Small typos can cause big mistakes. Survey datasets often contain missing answers. We artificially set one gender value as missing. We count how many gender values are now missing. We print the number of missing gender responses to highlight the issue. To prevent problems later, we replace missing gender responses with unknown. We print the updated column to show how the missing value was filled. Running the cell now. Here, the code demonstrates handling missing survey responses by identifying and filling them. Notice that one gender value is missing, which is replaced with unknown to avoid losing data during segmentation. This ensures all customers are categorized into meaningful segments, maintaining data integrity for analysis. Does your real business data have missing values? Always check before analysis. A common error in survey analytics is reporting the average score instead of interpreting business segments. We calculate the mean NPS score from the dataset. We print the raw average NPS score for context. If the average is unexpectedly low, we remind the analyst that segment breakdown is more meaningful than overall mean. Running the cell now. Here, the code calculates the average NPS score from survey data, showing a value of 4.89, which might seem low at first glance. The key takeaway is to avoid relying on this single average number alone, since NPS is better understood by looking at the proportions of promoters, passives, and detractors within segments. This highlights the lesson cautioning that market segmentation reveals deeper insights beyond simple summary statistics. Practice: create a pie chart showing proportion of detractors, passives, and promoters with your code. Analytics patterns and best practices. Always define business-relevant segments before deep analysis. Use cross-tabulation to compare groups on key performance indicators, such as NPS, spend, or churn rate. Summarize categorical data by proportion, not just count. If building indices or scores, document how the index is constructed and why thresholds are chosen. Use trend charts to spot important shifts in segment behavior over time. Avoid treating survey codes or scaled responses as continuous variables without business logic. Running the cell now. Cross-tabulation compares churn proportions by gender segment, not just totals, for fairer business insight. We create a crosstab table dividing customers by gender and churn and normalize within segment. We print it to reveal each group's churn pattern. Running the cell now. This cross-tabulation shows the proportion of churn, yes vs no, within each gender segment, confirming that churn rates are similar for males and females, around 26 to 27%. The normalization by row, gender, helps us compare churn behavior relative to each gender group, demonstrating how segmenting by business-relevant categories reveals nuanced performance differences. Try cross-tabbing by payment method or contract type for new business insight. Here is a business-friendly function for calculating the Net Promoter Score from survey data. The function computes the percentage of promoters and detractors and subtracts for a true index value. We apply it and print the overall NPS index for the synthetic survey dataset. Running the cell now. This output shows the overall Net Promoter Score, NPS, calculated from the survey data, reflecting a negative sentiment with a score of -47.6. Notice how the function segments respondents into promoters and detractors based on score thresholds and then computes the score as their difference, highlighting the importance of defining meaningful thresholds for index construction. This approach ensures that the NPS accurately summarizes customer loyalty trends for business decision-making. How does this NPS index compare to the average NPS score? Which is more useful to business leaders? Segmenting by customer sign-up cohort allows trend analysis to identify retention challenges. We create synthetic cohort data with a fixed random seed for consistency. We plot monthly active users by sign-up month. This line chart helps identify customer trends and period effects over time. We add a descriptive chart title. We label the y-axis for number of users. We label the x-axis with sign-up months. We rotate labels for readability. We apply layout adjustments. We display the plot to reveal usage trends. Running the cell now. This line chart displays the trend of active users by their sign-up month, illustrating fluctuations and potential seasonality in user engagement over time. Notice the continuous timeline on the x-axis representing cohorts defined by sign-up month, highlighting the importance of segmenting customers before deeper analysis. This visualization exemplifies how trend analysis helps monitor cohort behavior, a key pattern in performance tracking and strategic decision-making. Try segmenting these trends by demographic groups for deeper business stories. For more plotting tutorials, subscribe on YouTube to see advanced Python charting with public data. Now, let us combine our skills for an end-to-end market research segmentation. We segment all customers by contract type and senior citizen status, and calculate the churn proportion for each group. We print this key table for management review. We visualize segment churn risk using a stacked bar chart. We add a clear title for business interpretation. We label the y-axis to show proportion of customers. We label the x-axis to show segment definitions. We add a legend for clarity. We adjust layout for readability. We display the final plot to spot at-risk segments. We identify and print the top 3 segments with the highest churn rates. These are the customer groups the business should prioritize for retention efforts. Running the cell now. This output shows the proportion of customers who churn, yes, versus stay, no, across segments defined by contract type and senior citizen status, illustrating how to summarize categorical data by proportion rather than count. Notice the notably higher churn risk among month-to-month contract holders, especially senior citizens, which helps prioritize which customer segments to target for retention strategies. This segmentation and cross-tabulation align with best practices by defining relevant groups before deeper analysis and making it clear which segments carry the most business risk. Practice. Try creating your own segmentation combining more features or investigating low-risk groups. Check YouTube for more in-depth case studies and interactive segmentation demos.